record. Meeting is being recorded. Thank you for that. Thank you. Good morning to everyone. Welcome to Rajiv Gandhi Center for Advanced Technology. I am Kamalakant Das on behalf of the ARCAD team, welcoming you everyone to this fantastic panel discussion, which will be headed by Dr. Dinesh Tyagi and followed up by Dr. Rashmi, Professor Vaibhav Jain, Mr. Arijit Bhattacharya, and Mrs. Vidushi Saxena. And also we have a young master game developer who will be joining shortly as well. This is a day where we are actually meeting to discuss how creativity and innovation can be utilized for sustainable development goals, where United Nations has set a goal that by 2030, we should be able to achieve the 17 goals. And we couldn't have got a better panelist, experts, where expertise, implementation experience, young energy, technology, and integration of technology into sustainability is there. So to take forward the discussion, we would like to invite Dr. Dinesh Tyagi, sir, and he has a checkered, fantastic, long career in public service. He has been an innovator in his life, both as a public servant and also after he has left public service in the government, working for government, private, and communities in different capacities. So Dr. Dinesh Tyagi is a social influencer, and his CV and biodata would take maybe 5 minutes to read. So I would like to keep it short at this moment, and we would like to know about his work. Dr. Dinesh Tyagi ji is a retired IAS who worked with the Tripura government, went up to the level of principal secretary, and handled several government departments, including Department of Finance, Horticulture. And after his retirement, he continues to inspire young people to innovate and achieve what is their best possible due that they can achieve and give back to society. So he is an inspiration, influencer. Thank you, sir, for being with us. And thousands of your followers, both on social media and other places, they are watching you today also. And they would like to listen from you how you think creativity and innovation can be utilized for sustainability purposes. And in between, when other faculty members and our teams will join, we'll be introducing. Before I go to Dr. Dinesh Tyagi ji, I will thank my executive director, Madam Jyoti Luhadia ji, and my manager at ARCAD, Binita Srivastava ji, for giving this opportunity to me to moderate this session and guiding us that we should have to engage with the young people in creativity, innovation, and technology. Over to Dr. Dinesh Tyagi ji. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Namaskar. And at the outset, I must thank ARCAD, Government of Rajasthan, and Shri Kamalakanti Dash ji for organizing such a topical interest subject webinar today. Today is also the Innovation Day. Today is actually Innovation Day in that sense. So it's very apt to try and organize a webinar of innovation and sustainability. I'm very grateful for giving me this opportunity, and thank the entire team, plus all those people who have been associated working with us in trying, creating, and making innovation as part of their life. Innovation is not one cup of once a lifetime opportunity, but also innovation is part or parcel of our life. By nature, Indians are innovations. By nature, inherently, Indians by nature are very innovative. If you look at everyone in villages or living, especially those in rural India, have their problems, but they find out ways of trying addressing those problems within the local constraints. And for example, the common service centers, which are started as part of Government of India initiative, with 500,000 young entrepreneurs from almost every part of the country, uh, built a sustainable business model using technology. And these young men and women, out of it, 100,000 are women, have built a model which is so unique for the world. That itself is great in terms of innovation. What does it do? It actually simplify life for people. So any innovation which you're trying to do, which is simplifying life for people, will try and help achieving the larger goal of sustainability just in that sense. What are the aspects? See, one is I tell you stories of what we've done. They are phenomenal. It will go a long way in telling you stories of what innovations done by village level entrepreneurs across the country. But the other is I also, since there are a large number of people from who are now joined, I also give the potential of what they can do in innovating and addressing the issues on sustainability, uh, and try and identify the areas where they can work together. And some of the areas largely relate to rural India. For example, in rural India, if you can see one of the areas of concern for the government is use of plastic. There are two ways of doing the addressing concern. One is that you ban use of plastic. The other is that can you find out solution that addresses the availability of plastic in a way that it actually does not pollute or it serves the same purpose. Banning, of course, has not been a good solution, and you can't ban them. But can we try and make use of it of plastic-free villages? Plastic-free villages. Is that possible? That is possible. In fact, there are models existing, and there are a lot of innovation which can be done in villages in order to make them plastic-free. You can segregate plastic, and each plastic somebody will buy, whether the bottles or their other usable plastics, and they make use of them in various technology and other formats which are permitted as per the regulatory compliances. So making villages plastic free itself is a great opportunity for us in India to try and innovate, build all the linkages both in terms of collection, storage, and transportation to location, and also supplying to people who are making use of this plastic. There are the cement factories now use plastic and blend with them. So if you can tie up all together, try and build a model which is sustainable, which also do clean in that sense. The second is on waste disposal. The waste disposal in urban area is done by municipalities, but waste disposal in rural area is still a matter of concern. They just dispose the waste wherever they feel like. And this waste is actually like a gold in the sense. If we take the value of the waste and convert it into various format, then we can add a lot of value and also try and serve the purpose of a scientific waste disposal mechanism in rural India. Is there a model? Yeah, it is possible to design model, and people can work and do that part of the work in that area. The other is, of course, the use of LPG, to promote use of LPG, and still the large number of households we use other kind of fuels. We can try and make some system effective. Can we do like in urban areas? Can we lay down pipeline to every household in villages and supply LPG? That will be transformative. That will be great. But is that a way of doing it? That is innovation and also adds to sustainability. So I give you some examples of what an opportunity is available for us to try and work together, and also for people who are associated and trying to listen to them and do that part of the work. The second is on health. I think health is one important sector which is also being done. You normally see in large companies, the company get a health policy for his own employees and all the employees together. And they bargain, they're able to bargain because it's a collective bargaining power for all employees. Can we do for a village? Can the panchayat negotiate and create an insurance scheme for all the people living in that panchayat? What a transformation! But that's very, see, these are one which needs innovation, help, support, innovation, and evolve over a period of time. But I'm sure we can create a model where everyone in that village covered by health insurance scheme collectively, not individually, similar to what a company does for its own employees. And that can be a phenomenal story for creating safety of health. The second on women health and hygiene, there are of course a lot of work being done supply of sanitary. Can we make local sanitary pad with the chef available or with degradable waste which is available, and make use of them and make sanitary pads and make it available to every man and woman? I know 60% of women disease in rural India relates to use of unhygienic sanitary pads. If you can break that and create that system locally, if you transport, buy from outside and sell them, it has its own logic issue. But can we create a little employment potential for trying making local use of material and creating sanitary pads? Some of them is doing it. I know some of this already, a lot of work is being done. But on a large scale, on every village is what a challenge lies. And can we try and work out in that sense for that matter? The other is on malnourishment and undernourishment. There are a lot of children who are malnourished in this country. The present methods of determining malnutrition and undernourishment are also different. Can we use technology? Can we take a photograph of a child and tell both height and weight, and tell through an AI whether you undernourished or malnourished, and try and do intervention to design that format? That itself is a great innovation. But in large scale interventions for in fact, we can collectively through innovation remove malnourishment from this country, at least within a defined time frame. It is unfair that after so many years of independence, we still have malnourished and undernourished children, despite them. Probably we don't have the determinant, we don't have the technology to determine effectively, and also technology in order to try and intervene and take remedial measures for doing that part of the work. These are some of the full health sectors, but as I said, the other is on tuberculosis. We are now saying that TB Mukt Bharat is to be made. And the government of India does two parts in TB Mukt Bharat. One is that they give medicine free to a TB patient. And the second is that they provide some food component. But they don't look at the very critical component, saying at the spit. Where does it spit? If you see in all the places, they write, yahan thukna mana hai, don't spit here. But they don't tell you, so where do I spit? Why do I spit? So why can't we write saying that they put spit-ons and tell them yahan thuke? Because the spit is a natural phenomenon human being. Rather than trying people saying yahan thuke nahi, if you can tell them you spit here and create systems through technology and intervention. Some of them already discovered some material which absorb bacteria and doesn't allow to go outside. Then we can really make TB Mukt. TB Mukt, the component which is missing in TB Mukt is the spread through spit, and spread through spit within the house and within the community and also in the hospital. And there are technologies now available. Somebody has to try and implement in that format into that part of the work. The third is on education. There's a lot of work being done on education for creating accessibility to education to children, young and adults, and provide them. Today it's available. Today, some of you should start who want to do innovation to work on AI, which is already existing. It's an open AI. Try and build systems which are very conducive, language-based and accessible to people in rural India on a very low-cost formula. It is possible now. Today, everything is possible. And these are innovations for trying creating digital inclusiveness for enabling children, youth, and adults to have similar kind of education as a person in urban area has. If you can build that system, that can be a phenomenal success story for creating innovation in that format. Similarly, for skills, I think ARCET is very unique. I must congratulate the team in ARCET. They were earlier finishing school, but the finished school had limited circles. The ARCET model of trying and upgrading skills, of technology skills to both young men and women is phenomenal. Our only request to ARCET will be that kindly expand the network. You can have block-wise centers which will support some part of the work, because these women and girls can't move from villages to a long distance and come and stay. We need to try and address and devise technology. In fact, we built something of remote proctoring examination system and digital tools for help women to learn. And that's a great success, because we understand the limitation of rural India, where the women is not allowed to go for a long distance in that fashion alone. So if you can build these kind of platforms and build technology to try and simplify life for people, they have business model, they are available for them. And the village people will also pay for the facility being extended and provided, and then do that part of the work for them. The next is the farmer. There are a lot of work talked about farmers, and the farmers have a lot of problems. You must have seen news items of farmer crop, etc. Today, can we devise something local? Can we devise a format? Can we do innovations locally in order to diversification of crop, making availability of seedlings, using technology in order to consult and give information like telemedicine, teleconsultation, and also provide seeds and fertilizers of good quality to the farmer and take it, produce, store them properly, and also increase their shelf life. There are, of course, methods, there are large scale methods of using radioactive waves in order to increase shelf life of products. So you can even do that part of the work in association for them. Plus, there are other technologies available. Can we design of this nature where we can help and address every part of the requirement of the farmer and really make them good and stay there and do that, feel pride. There no crop is lost. If the crop is insured properly, if there is a damage done, he safeguard, his interest is safeguard. All that comprehensive. See, piecemeal one type exercise won't work. A comprehensive package and solution for addressing farmer issues through a technology enabled framework can be a great form of that. Similarly, organic farming can be also an area of building some kind of thing. Logistic is one issue, but can we try and devise mechanism that the farm produce organic, use there locally and sent outside, has some value added creation for them. You can add value addition to the organic crops and build some products which will have a huge market value. The next is on mobility. One of the difference between rural and urban is that the mobility, lack of mobility. In rural area, the bus will come only once in a day. The girls, women and boys can't travel so many times as an urban area. Is there a mechanism? Today, fortunately, there are now e-vehicles, e-rickshaws, e-cycles available for us to create and enhance mobility for rural India. If we can enhance mobility for rural people, I can assure you that this will add a lot of people. This will also do not only enhance the income generation, the skill upgradation, and the ability of the people in the villages to try and generate business for themselves, but also try and create wealth for everybody in that sense and make them sustainable in a longer run. Electric mobility, you might have seen in urban areas, they have cycles which given hire. Can we create models for cycles in hire in rural area where a school girl can hire a cycle, go to the school or a college and come back on electric cycle? So we are making the environment friendly, but we are creating models for them on a large scale and try and make use of them. But I think mobility, enhancing rural mobility, use of both charging stations, swap batteries, and electric vehicles, and also converting the existing cycles into electric cycles or electric two-wheelers into electric through refurbishing can also be a great opportunity, a business opportunity for sustainability. These are all opportunities available in rural India, and some of I understand that, and I know about some of them already working it, but still there is scope for improvement. Logistic remains a big issue for rural. Whatever you produce, whether our entrepreneur who produce T-shirts or bags and Sethaji in Rajasthan or through Darji online, and the logistic is one area where they have huge issues. Can we create that part of them? And these women in Alwar districts in Rajasthan who produce from millets, barfis, they have that issue of where to sell and how to sell. Can we create market for them? Can we create linkages for them in a format? Can the dhabe wala or the mithai wala make use of the rural women as center for producing and transport the material locally, and it doesn't make economic sense to him, and through a system? Will that be possible? That is how the empowerment and enablement will take place for rural India and skill upgradation. We have done this, and we have done in many parts of the work as mentioned. There are a large number of women we work with Sethaji and do that through a skill upgradation. Women have some inherent skills of stitching, making clothes, and do that part of them. We need to create availability of raw material, training them, and then taking produce and linking them with those who can buy the produce, and they can be phenomenal story for women empowerment in that area. The other is, of course, some of them is already being done. Fortunately, the JAM Treaty has done a lot of work in terms of access of finance. There is some more scope for creating access to finance, and one can discuss and do that, because there are a large number of areas which are available for still intervention in order to create easy access to everybody of finance, which will help them to increase and enhance that part of them. Solar is one area. India is a country where there is huge solar sunlight available. Can we make villages solar? There are already some villages already made, but large scale solar based villages using solar technology and drinking water facility and also creating employment opportunity for them can be a great value proposition. Innovations is key for our objective of creating Gram Swaraj and Atmanirbhar Bharat. These are without innovation, Gram Swaraj and Atmanirbhar Bharat is very difficult or will take a longer time. But innovations using technology with the initiative, the kind of initiative that ARCAT is taking can be phenomenal. And I must thank ARCAT. I'm really very grateful because the kind of work they're doing, that we are associated with them for training 40 of these women in design, and the women can do phenomenal work in design. Our only request, ARCAT, is to tie up with the people who need designs made in rural India and link to an intermediary who can support these trained women in getting some business for them. Help desk, call center, business design work, stitching work as outsource model for rural women and rural India can be a phenomenal case story. We still have to do, and I think an initiative like ARCAT or Rajasthan government can become a model for the other part of the country to do the same and work out some mechanism for sustainability. Thank you so much. As I said, stories of entrepreneurs are phenomenal. I won't be able to name all of them because they take a lot of time. But I'm grateful that you're doing a wonderful job. I must thank you and your team for this initiative and the kind of work which is done there. I hope you also share with other states to try and replicate similar models of creating using technology partners in order to upgrade skills of men and women in villages. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you, Dr. Dinesh Tyagiji. It was excellent to have that brief overview of fields where innovations are shaping lives of people on ground, and grateful that you have identified ARCAT's strength. We have a long way to go. We are just 8 months old at this moment. August 20th last year, 2022, Honorable Chief Minister inaugurated ARCAT. And in between this period of 8 months, small period for any institution to start with, we have more than 500 young people enrolled. And in between, what Dr. Dinesh Tyagiji was highlighting, that 2 batches of rural women in support of Adobe and BLS, they have been trained and they are being trained. And also they are doing excellent work with Adobe team in designing and making course for young women entrepreneurs, and also students and young people who are physically challenged, and also for them. So, but they are some physically challenged. The students were saying that we have been users of technology. Sometimes we want to be also producers of technology. So that was very, in a sense, you can say heartening, also challenging at one level, and giving us a challenge that if you are doing advanced technology training, how can we integrate us so that we develop technology as well? So, Dinesh sir, I can't thank you enough for setting the tone and giving a broad spectrum of ideas where sustainable development goals are integrated into your approach to address innovation and sustainability. We'll be coming back to you again as we continue to go to our other panelists. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. May I invite Professor Vaibhav Jain, who is a sustainable architect, also professor at Manipal Academy of Higher Education, with whom I had the opportunity to work at Sri Sri University, established by Art of Living in Cuttack in Odisha. I was teaching the public policy, he was teaching the architectural design, and we are working together in sustainability. So Vaibhav, very good to connect with you after long. And Vaibhav Jain is someone who has studied architecture in Vienna and also pursuing a PhD at this moment. He is a practitioner, sustainable architect. At the same time, he is also offering some courses as well. We would like to listen from you that we have heard about things like mitti cool free refrigerators. So new ideas are coming where people are using not using the natural resources in the way that extractive industries would do, but they're using whatever naturally available, which is biodegradable. So in this context, how you see as a sustainable designer, architect, professor, that creativity and innovation can be used for achieving sustainable development goals. And you have 8 to 10 minutes to make this intervention. Over to you, Professor Vaibhav Jain from Manipal Academy of Higher Education. Over to you.
Thank you, Professor Kamalkant Das. Good morning to everybody. My name is Vaibhav Jain, and we are very thankful to ARCAT and Government of Rajasthan to be in the esteemed panel with the esteemed panel members here. We have been so the topic for we were thinking how shall I start with this topic because we have been focusing on the sustainable design related to buildings. And since the audience here is quite coming from quite variety of domains, so I just like to give a few short, background to what do we mean by sustainable design when it comes to building. So we have in 21st century we have a challenge of global warming. There have been various conventions such as Kyoto Protocol and Paris Agreement and various other international level conventions where it was realized that the global temperature, the average temperature of Earth, planet Earth has risen by 1.5 degrees Celsius. If that continues to rise, then various uh, countries and continents will submerge into the ocean. So there are various dangers related to climate change. Therefore, we need, in order to mitigate that challenge of global warming and our sustenance as a human being, one of the primary intervention which comes under the Sustainable Design Goals 7 and 11. There are 17 of them by listed by United Nations. So Sustainable Development Goal number 7 talks about energy efficiency, and Sustainable Development Goal SDG 11 talks about architecture and built environment, how built environment can be designed. So now when we have combined SDG 7 and SDG 11, which is about energy efficiency in general and buildings, here is the start of sustainable building design. What do we mean by that? You must have heard about a few innovative approaches towards building construction, building design, and building operation. Those are known as the green building. Green building is quite popular now in the public domain. Uh, Buildings usually consume in India, they consume around 40% of the total electricity consumption. That means, uh, buildings are one of the major energy guzzlers. If the current convention of designing building continues to be like that, then the challenge of global warming or to mitigate, global warming, that would be really hard to achieve. The reason behind that is quite simple. Actually, in India, our primary source of energy consumption is coal. We develop most of our electricity through coal, around 55%. That means when we burn coal and produce electricity, we also generate a lot of toxic waste which goes to the environment. And that also causes, global warming. And now, in order to mitigate that, if we somehow can reduce the energy consumption by buildings, which actually right now is quite high, if we can reduce that, then in itself we would reduce the load on our power plant. So, so that is the first intervention where green building and sustainable building can make is that they reduce the demand of electricity, which currently is very high from the building. You must have heard about net zero energy building. So there are few examples, and the industry has become quite strong now. This is also one of the innovative solution from the real estate industry that buildings nowadays, if you see your bill at the end of 1 year, if you see your energy bill will be almost zero because you have reduced your energy demand from the grid, and at the same time so your energy demand from the grid becomes very low because you have designed what you see on behind of me is also a green building. That is our own campus here in Manipal School of Architecture and Planning. This is also a green building, and here if you see, this building looks quite interesting from the point of view of the design, because there are various factors, various interventions such as the shading, the thickness thickness and the conductivity of the wall and other things which reduce the air conditioning load. As if now I'm sitting in this building and we do not require much of a air conditioning because the building itself is quite cool. So in a sense, then the building becomes very energy efficient. It requires less energy. Right now, I'm not using any daylight. What light I get, I am not using any artificial light. The light which I get right now is coming from the sky, free of cost. So once our electricity demand or electricity bill becomes very low, and over above that we put solar photovoltaic and other clean energy sources, then what happens at the end? The energy bill becomes zero. This is very good from the consumer point of view because that saves money, and you can use that money on various other purposes for productive use. And at the same time, it also reduces the demand on the government on our on providing electricity, and also uh, burning less and less coal. If the demand is less, then the less coal will be burned. As simple as. So here in Manipal School of Architecture and Planning, I'm the program coordinator of a master's degree program, which is known as Masters of Design and Sustainable Design. Here we have taken up a challenge that we want to build capacity of many students so that their capacity to design sustainable and green buildings is strengthened. And when these architects and engineers go back to the industry, they themselves have a huge capacity to design, and their ethos are are aligned with the sustainable development goal number 7 and 11, so that we can mitigate climate change. So here our program is quite innovative, where the applicants are since the building is not just architecture, building is also requires air conditioning, it requires lighting, it requires electrical appliances, and it's a combination of various disciplines. That is why our program is also interdisciplinary. We allow architects to join our team. We also allow engineers such as civil engineers, mechanical engineers, and electrical and computer science engineers to come together and brainstorm how in various ways how can we reduce the energy consumption. Uh, so this is a 2-year program, and we have tried to align ourselves, our curriculum, in a way that that caters to the need of the industry, so that our students are skilled enough, and they do relevant research, and relevant skills are developed, so that they are effective in their work job. uh, the syllabus of defining these courses such as sustainable design throughout the world is also requires some amount of experience and thought and innovativeness, and the cooperation of various stakeholders of building industry and engineering and architecture, and also real the management level knowledge, so that together all of us can take up the challenge and reduce global warming for our own sustenance on the planet. Thank you. I'm once again privileged to have this opportunity to speak to you on the behalf of the whole estate industry, which is one of the biggest contributor for energy consumer of energy consumption. And if we can improve buildings in terms of their energy consumption, we can do a lot better in terms of reducing the global warming. Thank you, organizers. Thank you, Professor Sukamal.
Thank you, Professor Vaibhav Jain, for giving an idea of what your university is doing, and also your broader idea of how real estate industry needs to be innovative and creative in engaging with sustainability and in energy consumption as well. And ecotourism huts are being prepared by many governments now with minimum investment and minimum damage to the environment. So the thatched houses are using mud, not just cement and brick. So but those are the things that are happening. So some other time would like to know how these innovations are actually important, that people who, when they are constructing buildings, they are using minimum the materials that have minimum carbon footprint. So those things are important, and this is becoming a kind of a fashion. So as we discuss about innovation, creativity, and use of technology as well, young people are making unique contributions to that. So technology has a very big catalyst role, and RCAT being a technology leader in the sector, and technology capacity building provider in that sense, looks at young people as inspirations who are doing such great things. So we have Yashark Bhattacharya with us, who is a game developer, and whatever we could know about him in last few days is that a very amazing boy, who is doing great. He's also a blockchain developer and one of the young game developers in the country. So over to Yashark. We would also like to know about how amazing work that you are doing through your technology intervention, and why do you think that young people should be doing this, and how do you see your peers learning from you, and what kind of contribution that you are making through your technology to innovation and to creativity and broadly to sustainability as well. Over to you, Yashark, if you are able to hear us. Then the session is for you. Over to you. 6 to 8 minutes for you. Over to you.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction, and thank you for calling me here. It means a lot. So I'm honored to be here. So my topic is to how to start with game development and how it influences sustainability. So first we need to know what type of game we want to make, whether it's a RPG, it's a casual or a action game. So with respect to that, we need to decide we will have characters or not. In most of our hyper casual games, we have characters, that blue mud like structure. So those are pretty normal. So I'm moving towards RPG game. So with respect to RPG game, there is one superhero and one supervillain. With respect to that, we need to decide what powers will the superhero have or the supervillain have. So according to our Indian mythology, there is a orb-like structure that comes out of Sadhu Muni Rishi's hands, so that they can refresh their power. So in our Shaktiman game, we made that block system. So for that we needed particle system. So particle system is a pretty basic concept of using VFX and 3D models for creating a virtual orb. Those are pretty common aspects. But before starting, we need to know what animations we need. So we need to guide our animators how they will animate the character. With respect to that, we will continue with the coding. Some of the animations include punching, kicking, jumping, etc. So now let's move to physics. Now physics plays a pretty decent role in game development. Whether if you think of collisions, you guys have played games like Free Fire and PUBG. So how do they let you not move beyond the boundary? So that's how colliders work. It keeps you inside the country so that you don't flee away. That will be a glitch, big glitch. Okay, so another is gravity. There is an interesting feature in our game development engines that we can control our gravitational force with that. So we control those with rigid bodies or again colliders. Now, how will we operate with the physics? So for operating with physics, we need coding. So in Unity, the engine we use, we need C Sharp, a little bit of Python and C++. For Unreal Engine, we only use C++, even though you don't need that because we only use blueprints. So Unity programming needs a little bit of knowledge of trigonometry, and game development largely influences on coordinate geometry. Not that hi-fi level of three-dimensional, two-dimensional. Easy knowledge will can keep you moving. Now coming to UI UX. it plays an important role. How the user will rate your game. So if you make the main menu attractive, users will um, instantly compel to your game, give a 5-star rating. Like if you see Marvel Champions or Injustice Gods Among Us, they have a pretty good UI. Um, those old type of main menus are pretty old. Like you have a picture and there it is written play, store, credit. That's a pretty old concept. So let me introduce to you the new concept. The new concept is that a 3D model is standing on a pretty beautiful environment, and the environment should be attractive. And the um, pretty big influence is focused on the color balance. If that's a RPG game, it should be a dark theme. If that's a hyper casual game, its color should be like comical, means bright. Then in the left side, we should have settings. If that's a multiplayer, then multiplayer options. If there are friends in that multiplayer game, so friends, then. And on the right side, we have Play Store, credit, and exit. Exit is a main, what do you say, thing in game development. If you don't give exit button, users often get confused and say that you don't have an exit button. So I will give 1 star. So for UI, sorry, what happened? Yeah.
Yes,
Hello,
you're audible. Yes, Shark, go ahead.
is my video on?
Your video is off now. We can hear your voice. Yeah.
So the softwares used are Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator. Adobe Illustrator is used for 2D logo designs and Photoshop is used for 2D main menu designs. And the crucial moment, means the crucial um, position lies here is the 3D modeler. 3D modeler mainly influences the game design, whether it's a RPG or a hyper casual. A 3D modeler only can make the game attractive, and a game programmer also. Because if the mechanics don't work properly, users will always say these games are not working. So, if we look into our game Shaktiman the Battle, we did a lot of optimization in that. Like if you see the Shaktiman model, you see is as a hard muscle 3D model. But we optimized it by focusing on normal maps. There are other optimization methods as well, such as static batching, role batching, mixed media matching, etc. So in RPG game, a big influence occurs on the AI of the enemies and also the boss. If there's a cool boss fight, users will always get attracted. So AI influences mainly on Python, but you need to do it in C# here. That's in Unity we can only use C#. So if you ask that how did I learn these, I'm self-taught. You can learn it from YouTube, and my parents helped it. So I also launched a blockchain game where you can pay in-app purchases through Ethereum. So for blockchain, you need to learn Solidity. Through Solidity, you can manage smart contracts. So smart contracts lets your NFTs be secure. OpenSeas use that. So there are pretty ways, and I'm now focusing on AI engineering. And if you ask how it affects our sustainability, with games we can teach children to plant trees, save animals, promote social awareness, etc. So that's how it works. Thank you. And once again, it's an honor to be here.
Thank you so much, Yashak. I think you are in 10th standard now, going to 11th. That's right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 15-year-old, and you have self-learned the technology, and you are using it to the maximum potential that the technology has, and maximum understanding and competence that you have developed by now. This is amazing, and we see a great future. We are very, very hopeful that when people like you, young boys and girls like you, when they use technology for the betterment of society, technology will have a definitely positive role in that context. As we are talking about technology, I would go to our kind of supporter, promoter, partner, Arijit Bhattacharya ji, who is a thought leader in kind of all kinds of emerging technologies, also a leading, highly ranked blockchain developer. So we would like Arijit Bhattacharya, who suggested Yashak's name, that he's doing the Generation Next training and bringing these people into technology, and making a next wave ready. So we would like Arijit Bhattacharya ji to say something about how young people are shaping technology at one level, and second, what he does in his organization, World Leaders Summit, Virtual Infocom. So he's one of those techno leaders who is taking India's flag to several hundreds of countries around the world. Over to Arijit Bhattacharya, the thought leader in technology, on how creativity and innovation can shape the sustainability goals that the world has set to achieve by 2030. Over to you, Arijit Bhattacharya ji.
Thank you so much, Professor. It's been a pleasure, always been a pleasure, to be very honest, coming here. The reason I suggested Yash's name because he's one of the future. And in Virtual Infocom, we have been taking a lot many of such kind of developers so that they can rise and shine in their life. That's the future. I think we should give them the opportunity to make their wings and fly in the bigger universe and betterment. Hope my audio and video is stable. I'm actually traveling at the moment in Himachal, trying my best to get a good network.
Yes,
Am I
yes,
audible?
yes, you are audible. Go ahead. Yeah.
Super. Yeah. So when we talk about sustainability, when we talk about probably connecting the technology with the new emerging world, what happens when we look at the world at the moment? The entire world has been connected through definitely the deep tech technologies. If we look at the world at the moment, we have lot many gaps, which I find really alarming. Probably the humanity and humankind, we have been trying to build a lot of skyscraping buildings. The development of real estate is really phenomenal. But while doing that, I have a deep question. Aren't we killing our Mother Earth? Probably we are killing all those hundreds of years of old trees. In fact, a very recent statement from Supreme Court, which actually happened, that probably 1,000 years old trees can be chopped off in nearby area just to build the roads and other activities. I'm sure that is gonna build a great network, great connectivity inside the country. But when we talk about technology, I think as a technologist, we all should understand that there is a finest technology wherein you can uplift the trees from one location to another location and then plant them, place them in a different location altogether and nourish them so that trees don't die and we don't have to kill our nature and our environment. At the moment, if I look at Calcutta, my hometown, it is approximate, I think, going to touch 45 degrees very, very soon. It's not that easy for sustaining in this kind of weather, at least in the eastern part of the country. The sole reason is we are not in a very dry area. The area is humid, and with that, lot many people are probably getting a lot of heat burn, and several people, I got the news that they are not in a very good shape. So what we are doing in our entire planet, we need to understand how we can connect the entire structure of deep tech technology, and then understand how we can do the development as well as at the same time we can save Mother Earth. So what we can do, there are 2-3 different kind of technical aspect into this. Number one, if we look at blockchain technology as a whole, sustainability is one of the key factor. Utilizing smart contracts, utilizing several different kind of active implementation structure, we can always detect, understand what are the kind of road balance that we can integrate, or what are the kind of activities with 3D mapping technology we can integrate. So in these kind of process, what happens? We can save probably the jungle, we can save the trees, we can save the ponds, we can save the water, we can save probably the all of different kind of things which we have been doing while chopping off the trees. And then I'm sorry about my statement because I have been rigorously looking at these kind of structure, and then eventually probably filling up those ponds, which is not very welcome. And because of that reason, maybe we are taking so much of time to understand and structurize our entire phenomenon of optimizing the entire. Give me a moment. I think there is a yeah. Yeah, so on those kind of aspects, there is another technology which connects the artificial intelligence with augmented reality. What happens when you map the entire area utilizing 3D technology? You can understand, detect, and on a real life basis, the AI can tell you the calculation points. So what happens? You can go with the alternative power. Probably we can use water power, we can use solar power for our needs, and definitely we can utilize the structural diagram to manage our balance. The future looks really interesting for all of us. We have heard a lot about ChatGPT. We have heard about a lot many different kind of artificial intelligence that is being done, and there is a huge saying that probably AI is going to take a lot of human job. Well, the best part is when we are talking about AI, when we are talking about deep tech, when we are talking about environment, sustainability, all these factors in today's world, I think is coming in a very single, simple point: logic. Are we logical enough to understand what we should do, how we should integrate, and where we should go with new kind of technology that is being developed? Technology cannot be stopped, that is for sure. Technology is always there just to safeguard humanity and give lot of opportunity for human to optimize and then go for the next generation of creativity. Well, there are some exceptions, but yes, if we look at the latest generation technology, which includes metaverse, includes the blockchain, or maybe the quantum computing, well, these kind of technologies can be utilized, can be used just to have a great life, go for a better education, give the future generation a great opportunity to flourish themselves. I think we should concentrate on those kind of factors, and I'm sure that with these kind of approach that Professor Kamalakant and the entire team is doing, is gonna do a big impact in our country. So let us go with our own Sanskrit sloka. Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Yotirgamaya, Mrittorma Amritangamaya, Abhiravirma Yedhi Rudra Yatte Dakshinang Mukham, Tenamang Pahi Nityam. With this note, I will close my session and let us go towards Mother Nature and go for the sustainable technology development. Thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you, Arjit sir. This was beautiful, and you have always been a supporter of ARCAT. We have December on the blockchain session, and that was very well received. And we keep getting back to you for support and guidance, because you connect to thousands of technology experts, not only just in India but across the world. So we will be getting back to you. And once you are free and you are in a better location, we would like to connect again. Thank you for carving out some few minutes for us from your busy schedule, giving a message that emerging technologies are really innovations. They are themselves innovations. So, and we can also add more innovations to make them sustainable as well. Thank you so much. And our next panelist, we would like to invite Vidushi Saxena, and then we'll go back to Dr. Rasmi. Vidushi Saxena, ma'am, who is from Adobe, is a senior consultant there and also a design expert. over to you, madam. How do you see, as design experts and someone who belongs to that organization which prides itself as the design top design organization, what do you see, what message do you have, and what kind of expertise that you expect your certificate holders to have and to make a positive change to the world? How Adobe designers and people like you are shaping creativity and innovation towards sustainability? In between, our manager, joint director, Madam Srimati Binita Srivastav ji has joined, and I will definitely give her the stage once the presentations are over for her the brief message for us. So over to Bidusi ji, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Is my audio loud and clear, and am I
Yes.
visible to everybody?
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
so much. I'd like to thank the entire team, first of all, for taking out so much time to celebrate the World Creativity and Innovation Day and bring us all together on this platform. Personally, it was very insightful for me to hear all the panelists together. And I'd like to take forward the notes that you requested me to talk about on, which is how Adobe is contributing towards creativity and innovation. I'll speak about it for a few seconds, and then probably I'll move on to showing you something, which is how we are trying to create the future. Because I see that, at RCAT, and also what the Rajasthan government, the Department of Information Technology and Communication is doing to, drive innovation in the state is absolutely amazing. So I would talk about on those lines and show you as to how Adobe is contributing to creating the future, because at our organization, one of our core values is creating the future. And I just heard um, the little Mr. Bhattacharya speaking, and it was so nice to hear somebody who's in 10th standard talk about blockchain, game development. He's already well acquainted to Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop applications. Hear him talk about words like UI, UX. It was absolutely mesmerizing. And that is what is Adobe's goal in the part of the process, to be very honest. What we want to do is bridge the gap between the students and the learners that are today and get them industry ready, because today in our education system, what we lack is the on job experience, which, when we are out of our degree colleges, when we just completed our education, what we lack is being industry ready. And somebody who's been into the industry for around 7 years, I have experienced them initially during the building years of my career. So that is what we want to um, take back. And at Adobe, we keep doing these studies, which is like 94% of the students that 94% of the jobs that will be there in the future today don't even exist. So how do we get our children ready for that? How do we get the future? India as a population, we're the largest in the world today. We've got almost 60% of our people in an age bracket of below 35, and that is something that we need to utilize as a power. So we need to enable our students right in time, and I think Adobe's working towards that itself. And we did speak about a lot of AI platforms, and I saw Mr. Bhattacharya talk about is or not. This is a conversation that is there in the industry. If AI can replace designers today, well, I can definitely, as somebody who's working in the design industry, I can definitely say that there is no way that AI would be able to completely replace the designer's job, because at the end of the day, we would need somebody to put in those prompts. But definitely somebody who's well acquainted with the idea of what artificial intelligence is, how it works, can definitely take away your job. So it's very important to keep up with the trends. I heard Yasharka, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing the name incorrectly. But when he was talking about how do we build about UI, UX, and 3D and metaverse, Adobe today is trying to get hands-on or give every section the tools that enables them. Today we have the Substance 3D collection, which enables to create 3D models, model them, texture them. And then we've got the Adobe Creative Suite, which students from K-12 as well as from colleges can utilize them. And especially startups, students, like for somebody who's in 10th standard and is learning out those products, we want to give them this power, right? So I would not talk about it much, rather show you what Adobe is looking into and how it thinks that it can help create future by enabling and empowering the students of today. So I'll take you through two videos and conclude what I have to say. One is of Adobe Firefly, which is Adobe's AI generative technology. So basically, generative AI technology, that means that you can just type in text and prompts, and that will generate something. So I'll quickly go ahead and share my screen. Okay, it says I can't share my screen. So not a problem. Basically, I would then talk about it, that Adobe Firefly is somebody, I think all of you should give it a try. We've launched the beta recently, and it's text to prompt mechanism, a really insightful thing as to how the future would look like and how बिल्कुल मनीषा, मैं बात कर सकती हूँ हिंदी में। और हम बात कर रहे थे अडोबी फायरफ्लाई के बारे में और एआई के बारे में, जो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस है। अभी अभी अडोबी ने एक प्लेटफॉर्म लॉन्च किया है आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के बारे में, जिसे कहते हैं जेनरेटिव एआई, जो आप कुछ भी टेक्स्ट डालोगे और उसके अगेंस्ट आपको वो एक इमेज क्रिएट करके दे देगा। मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल दे सकती हूँ प्रॉम्प्ट का, जिसे कहते हैं आप डालोगे सनसेट एट इंडिया गेट, तो आपको वो पिक्चर क्रिएट करके दे देगा। So it will basically work on your text prompts, and we also have a dedicated, मतलब हमारे पास एक dedicated प्लेटफॉर्म है जहाँ पे हम encourage करते हैं स्टूडेंट्स और टीचर्स को कि वो वहाँ जाकर अपनी क्रिएटिविटी, और वो बिल्कुल कमर्शियल सेक्शन से अलग है, बट हमारी जो सर्टिफिकेशन हम आर्कैड के थ्रू प्रोवाइड करेंगे, या जो अडोबी का वो जो आपको मिलेगा, उससे सिर्फ एक चीज तो होगी। देखिए, आपका काम ही आपके लिए इंडस्ट्री में वर्क करेगा, बट विद अडोबी स्टैम्प ऑन इट इज समथिंग दैट यू आर वेल अक्वेंटेड विद, आप उन टूल्स से वेल अक्वेंटेड हो जो आज इंडस्ट्री में यूज हो रहे हैं। आज डिजाइन इंडस्ट्री में जितने भी टूल्स हैं, yeah, sure, Professor, we can have a demo, but unfortunately, I can't share my screen. I would have loved to show it to you because, Firefly is definitely a very beautiful insight into
Is your sharing enabled? Is your sharing enabled? Can I ask our IT team, please enable Bidusya ma'am's sharing there? You continue, ma'am. And in between the IT team, I have requested to enable the share button there on your screen there.
So basically,
आप हिंदी में बोलते रहिए, और बहुत सारे लोग बोल रहे हैं कि वो उनको समझ अच्छे से आ रहा है। Thank you.
अच्छा, अब मतलब मैं माफी चाहूंगी कि मैंने इतना सारा इंग्लिश में बोल दिया और वो
हिंदी
सारा
अंग्रेजी थोड़ा सा मिला के, लेकिन आसान हो जाएगा थोड़ा। बहुत हमारे जो लिसनर्स हैं वो देख रहे हैं, वो सारे डिफरेंट लोकेशन पे हैं, और वो काफी सारे ग्रामीण महिला भी देख रहे हैं और यंग चिल्ड्रन भी देख रहे हैं। उनके लिए भी थोड़ा हेल्पफुल हो जाएगा। Over to you.
बिल्कुल, मैं बहुत मतलब बहुत खुश हूँ कि हम वहां तक पहुंच पा रहे हैं और उनसे बात कर पा रहे हैं इस बारे में, क्योंकि जैसे जब हम बात करते हैं फ्यूचर बनाने की या फ्यूचर रेडी करने की, तो वही एक ऑडियंस है जिसे हम कहते हैं ना, आप जितने छोटे होते हो उतनी आपकी क्षमता ज्यादा होती है पढ़ने की या लर्न करने की। तो आई थिंक हमारा what we look forward to is what we want to do is as an organization give you the right tools, आपको वो सारी चीजें मिले जिससे आपके जो भी डिजाइन्स हैं, जो भी आपके आइडियाज हैं, वो रियलिटी में कन्वर्ट हो सके। हमारे पास अडोबी क्रिएटिव क्लाउड है जिसमें आप हर तरह के टूल्स पा सकते हैं। ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग टूल्स हैं, यूआई यूएक्स टूल्स हैं, जिससे आज आप जो भी चीज देखते हो, जो भी सर्विस देखते हो, या तो उसकी वेबसाइट होती होगी या उसकी कोई एप्लीकेशन होती होगी, वो एप्लीकेशन और वो वेबसाइट कैसे बनती है, वो यूआई यूएक्स सॉफ्टवेयर से बनती है, वो दिमाग होता है उन एप्लीकेशंस के पीछे। फिर अगर आप देखोगे कि जो 3D और मेटावर्स की बात होती है, आज हम वर्चुअल रियलिटी की बात करते हैं, ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी की बात करते हैं, जैसे कि अरिजीत भट्टाचार्य ने बताया हमें कि जैसे ही आप कुछ भी बनाओ और वो आप रियलिटी में देख पाओगे, तो ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी और वर्चुअल रियलिटी के थ्रू आप वो अचीव कर सकते हो। आई थिंक मेरी एक्सेस आ गई है। मुझे 1 मिनट दीजिए। सो ये अडोबी फायरफ्लाई है जो मैं अब आप देखोगे। बेसिकली इसके थ्रू आप कोई भी टेक्स्ट डालोगे और वो इमेज में बदल जाएगा। मेरा ऑडियो आ रहा है आप लोगों को?
हाँ जी मैम।
परफेक्ट। सो बेसिकली आप जो चाहो वो जनरेट कर सकते हो। मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल दिखाऊंगी यहाँ पर। जैसे मैं आपको सनसेट की बात करी थी, मैं दिल्ली में रहती हूँ, तो सनसेट एट इंडिया गेट मैं एक प्रॉम्प्ट डालती हूँ और आप देखिए कि आप इससे कई ज्यादा बड़े और बेहतर प्रॉम्प्ट्स डाल सकते हैं। यहाँ पे एक कंटेंट टाइप चूज किया हुआ है मैंने, आर्ट। तो जो भी इमेजेस आएंगी आप वो देखिए, जो मैंने टाइप किया वो तुरंत ही जनरेट हो गया। अगर मान लीजिए मैं डाल दूं, अभी ये सिर्फ इंग्लिश प्रॉम्प्ट्स एक्सेप्ट करता है, बट फ्यूचर में हम और लैंग्वेजेस का भी इंक्लूजन देखेंगे और बहुत सारा कुछ आ रहा है। अभी मैं आपको सबसे बेसिक चीज दिखा रही हूँ। जैसे अब जैसे हम डाल सकते हैं अ लिविंग रूम फुल ऑफ प्लांट। आप कितने भी बड़े प्रॉम्प्ट्स डाल सकते हैं, वो सब कुछ अकोमोडेट करने की कोशिश करेगा। और इस बार कोशिश करती हूँ कि कोई कंटेंट टाइप ना चूज करूं और देखते हैं फिर कितना फोटो रियलिस्टिक आता है। तो देखिए ये काम कितना आसान कर देगा डिजाइनर्स का। आप यहाँ पे कोई भी एस्पेक्ट रेशियो चेक कर सकते हो। तो डिजाइनर्स के लिए एक बहुत ही पावरफुल टूल है, क्योंकि कभी कभी जो मैक्सिमम टाइम जाता है वो आइडिएशन में जाता है। तो फायरफ्लाई वो प्रोसेस आसान करेगा और अकॉर्डिंग टू योर नीड्स आप इसको कस्टमाइज कर सकते हो। मैं बहुत एनकरेज करूंगी आप सबको कि आप जाएं और फायरफ्लाई देखें और कैसे अडोबी ये लीप जो मैंने आपको बताया, जो ब्रिज बनने की कोशिश कर रहा है बिटवीन स्टूडेंट्स एंड यंग स्टार्टअप ओनर्स, to help them become a part of the industry, something that will be depicted through this video. And with this video I will conclude it. It's called Make the Leap with Adobe Creative Cloud. So let's have a quick look at it. So I will just conclude with this, that, as Adobe, we definitely look forward to partner with different governments to enable the students, the young startup owners, to be a part of the future, to create the future rather. So I would encourage everybody to take the leap and make the leap. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me as a panelist here.
थैंक यू विदुषी जी, बहुत अच्छा था। थोड़ा सा वीडियो में साउंड नहीं था, लेकिन विजुअल्स इतने अच्छे थे कि विजुअल से पता चल रहा था कि आप क्या कहना चाहते हो वीडियो के द्वारा। तो साउंड सुनाई नहीं दे रहा था, तो लेकिन बढ़िया था। सो ये मुझे लगता है मैसेज पहुंचा है। जो लोग चाहते थे कि हिंदी में इस प्रेजेंटेशन हो, तो आप आरकैट भी विजिट करिए। एंड for all audience, Adobe Arcat is a proud partner of Adobe, and Adobe is a proud partner of Arcat. We together have started several courses in digital design, and for the information purposes, there are 2 women rural batches. They are ongoing. One batch already has been completed, and the participants have graduated with women entrepreneurs, and one batch is graduating today from the students who are physically and mental disability. So, and they are liking the training and designing so much. It fills us with joy that people who are slow learners, they are finding design something as a calling that we would like to know more about it. That's a very good feeling about it. Thank you, Vidushiji, for your brief presentation, giving us an idea about how best Adobe is using design for sustainability. Sustainability is a bigger idea, 17 different goals. We can use that. So,
And at the same time, it makes my heart full too that, women in the rural areas and differently able people are able to find their interest in the design world, and Adobe as a partner can help them do so. So it makes my heart full of joy. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for being the bridge and, doing what we're trying to achieve. Thanks.
and our credit goes to Jyoti Madam, Jyoti Lohadia ji, who is the executive director and ably supported and by Madam Vinita Srivastav ji, who is here. So Jyoti ma'am, if you are here, you would like to say something, we'll come back at the presentation of after Dr. Rasmi ji. Dr. Rasmi ji is from Manipal Academy, and she is a fashion designer. We would like to know from you what you think after this deliberation from a young boy and from a design expert, from a blockchain developer, from Dinesh Tyagiji, someone who is a social influencer, things in a macro perspective. How do you look at how the fashion industry is changing towards sustainability, one, and second, how innovation and creativity is being embedded into that ecosystem? Because fashion is becoming now, people are talking about fam to fashion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given this idea of fabric to fashion, fam to fashion, to factory to foreign. So five F approach to radically transform the textile industry. So Rajasthan is also very, very famous for its color and for its dress and for its costume. So what work you are doing at your own level, and how do you see as a textile fashion expert that sustainability is being integrated, and how creativity and innovation are very, very in kind of an integral and central part of it? Over to you, Dr. Rashmi.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I thank Srimati.
Little louder, ma'am. Your voice is coming, but little louder. Yeah.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I thank Srimati Vinita Srivastava as a joint director, Mrs. Jyoti Luhadia, executive director, Professor Kamala Kantatas, senior consultant, ARCAT, for giving the opportunity to deliver a talk as part of the World Creativity and Innovation Day celebration at the Rajiv Gandhi Center of Advanced Technology, Department of Information Technology and Communication, Government of Rajasthan. So, as defined by Theodore Levitt, German-born American economist, creativity is thinking of new things and innovation is doing new things. So, in connect that, we need the design. We'll be thinking what we are going to do or to do in a creative way, and to visualize that and to push that to show others. We need to sketch that up, and now we have so many softwares available like the Adobe, where we can put our thought process onto the digital media to visualize, to change the color line, etc., to give texture, etc. And also the software like a 3D Pro, which will help us to give a visualization on 3D model, so that we don't need to prepare the sample and see if it is okay, whether the color is matching, whether the size fits or not. And to connect the creativity to innovation, we need the design. So design is the subset of creativity. And to understand the relation between the innovation and sustainability, we need to look at an example. For example, we all would have been using refrigerators in our home before 15 to 20 years. Hardly a few would have heard about Freon. Uh, but today, everybody knows it is one of the CFC gas and were used as refrigerants, and since they have been replaced by non-CFC gases. So the technology or the principle remains almost the same. Both are used for heat exchange. But the knowledge that CFC gases harm the ozone layer and the environment concern made us to switch to the sustainable technology. So similarly, we have seen several technological advances being implemented by greater awareness and through policy changes like emission norms for automobiles, waste disposal of plastic, green buildings, green power, etc., to name a few, all of concern of environment and sustainability. And we as panel member, we have seen that we are all from different backgrounds, but we are all working to achieve a single goal, that is a sustainable design goal to our disciplines. That's what I understood after listening to all the talk by the experts. So it is evident that technology is an enabler for ensuring the sustainability. For example, if you are using Adobe, we can save a lot of paper, which is again from the trees we'll be cutting and making the papers. So the softwares help in that way, and to visualize the things, to change the color frequently, like the Rishi man have shown us a video. So in 1987, United Nations Wetland Commission defined sustainability as meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. And when I read this definition, and also I have attended another seminar last year at Coimbatore. So in a very simple way, how they define sustainability is that we have learned this concept from our mom at our home. Like mom will be cooking food for us, and she'll be keeping it in the kitchen, and she will ask, "Don't take everything. Keep for your brother, sister, and your father as well." So that is the concept that, in a very simple way, we learned from our home, and this is the same thing that the United Nations want us to do. Take the resource, do it, but keep for the future generation. Don't exploit it. So to achieve these United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, from the framework for improving the lives of populations around the world and mitigating the hazardous man-made effects of climate change. So we can observe the adoption of sustainable manufacturing technologies in fashion design, textile and garment manufacturing industries. The concept of recycle, reuse and upcycle, then circular economy, zero waste concept, and the corporate social responsibility designed for the environment are largely implemented. And as designers, when we are designing a product, we need to think about the complete process, how a consumer is going to dispose the product, whether it will create an effect on the environment or not, is it biodegradable or not. So the designer not only should end the process by designing the product and the performance, he should know how he's going to dispose it or to upcycle it, because the material that we are going to dispose may be a raw material for upcycling. As designers and creative professionals, we have to see that just because of such technological advancements, customers may not switch to them unless they find them convenient in terms of innovative design, usefulness, and pricing. Hence, innovative concepts and design incorporating tech advancements is most essential part we must focus on to bring better services or products so that end users have a better choice to switch to sustainable methods or practices to bring in the desired change. So we have to ensure that creative part and design element has to go in hand for user-centric, innovatively designed products and services, incorporating such technological advancement to have faster acceptance with end users to ensure sustainability in the long run for a greener and better tomorrow. So, can you share my slides, sir?
Is your sharing enabled? Can you just check?
I'll check, sir. No, sir, I can't share.
Okay, you continue. I'm informing the IT team to do the same. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, sir. So two examples. We'll just see how a project is aligned to sustainable design goal, and we can achieve that. And one is about smart socks, which was uh, the study was published by the Moore et al. Their team in the journal, and the title of that publication is like fall prevention with a smart sock system reduces hospital fall rates, published in the Journal of Nursing Care Quality by Moore et al. In the year 2023. So in this, the people will be the people with the problem with the neuro surgery and these issues. So they may try to walk and they may fall, which may um, effort in hitting the wall or bleeding. For example, my mother-in-law, like it happened at home, like she uh, wanted to go to washroom and she just stepped up from the bed and she lost her balance. She don't know how what happened. And instead of walking towards the door, she went and hit on the wall and there was little bleeding on her head. So these situations we can avoid even in hospitals as well. So these kind of smart socks, where they have used the technology of pressure sensors. So when a patient is trying to walk, the caretakers will automatically get the message that the patient is going to walk. So you need to attend them. So we
Ma'am,
can.
your sharing is enabled. Ma'am, your sharing is enabled.
Thank you, sir.
You can try the PPT, ma'am.
Whether the screen is visible.
Not yet, ma'am. Are you able to share?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
These are the 17 goals of sustainable design, and I'll just brief you how we are aligning our project to this to achieve this. For example, we have a project like we have seen that a lot of banana we are consuming, and what happened to the waste of the trunks that is disposed. So, if we are not disposing it in a good way, it will create environmental issues. And also, it can a lot of fibers are there in this banana trunks, pseudostems, which can be used as an extra income for the farmers. So that was a thought when we look upon this project to support the farmers and to give them an extra benefit and to dispose the waste in a constructive way. So this is a project which is funded by the Department of Science and Technology, extraction of fibers using mechanical method. And we have tried the extraction of the fibers using different methods like a water wetting, which is the conventional way, and the mechanical decorticator. And we have seen that when we are using the mechanical method, we can save a lot of water and time. So within 1 hour, we can extract the fiber from one plantain, and it's almost 300 grams you may get. And the cost of 1 kg banana fiber is about 350 rupees. So that was a project we have taken. So this will help to save the water because conventional retting process needs more water, save time, prevent water pollution due to retting, and we all know and we are all uh, good with the cotton fiber or we like cotton a lot. But the quantity of water we need to grow cotton and the pesticides we used in cotton is more as well. But we won't see that part of the cotton cultivation. So here there is a need for other natural fibers as well. So if we can use the banana fiber to blend with the cotton, we can reduce the quantity of cotton usage and use these kind of fibers which doesn't need much care. And it's a kind of waste management and extra income for the farmers. And the pith and other things, the water and those things that we get after extracting the fiber could be made into composite for the cultivation. So the method is a sustainable way of extracting the fibers and disposing the waste. And we could achieve or link this project to SDGs Goal 12, responsible consumption and production. And since this is a natural fiber, we don't have an issue with the disposal because it is biodegradable. So our project, we have combined mechanical decodification with a hand scraping method, and we could get clean and fine fibers. Only the decodification, if you are doing, the fibers are with the little tissues on that, which is little harsh. We combine two methods, and we have also tried to blend the fibers with the cotton to make a yarn. And we approached the handloom unit here, Udupi Sari Weaving Center. And one from Coimbatore as well for helping us to make the fabric. So that is our product, which help us to achieve the SDG. And another important, like I have to talk about the fabric here or the textiles. The positive thing about the textile is that it is adaptable to everything. You can create wonders using textiles. Like Sir have told about the Jaipur, the Center for Block Prints, like a double print, etc. And the costumes very colorful. The tie dyes are all very mesmerizing. So even catering to the normal needs of fabric like clothing and the basic needs like clothing, we can use these textiles to for other purpose as well. And one among that is the healthcare textiles, for example, the medical textiles. So the creativity, the design, like we'll be scoping the problem, like what is the problem faced by the patient at the hospital. For example, here is the patients are falling because they are not having a balance and it will lead to the trauma. So we can avoid that by using the technology here as a sensor and the textile which is able to adapt to anything and to make a socks. And we can prevent patients falling. So you can see the creativity, the design element is important. Even we can print circuits on textiles to make it a smart textile. Also, the smart garments can be made with the fabric that will help to monitor the real-time health monitoring, like the heart rate or capable to predict heart failure risk. So if a patient is having an issue, or cardiac patient is having an issue, suddenly the signals will be passed to his doctor system or the mobile phone, where the caretaker can attend him and to prevent the life. These are the thoughts in the field of fashion and textiles. And yes, after discussing and listening to all the panel members and experts, we can see that even though we are working in different areas, we are all working to achieve a single goal, that is sustainability. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving this opportunity. And sir, panel member.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rashmiji. It was great to know about the utilization of innovation and creative tools in fashion industry. And we would certainly get back to you in the Q&A session. Any question and answer in the question session? Any questions there from the participants? And you can type it here for all or to the presenter also. And Vinita ma'am, in between, if you are there, we would like to hear from you.
Hi, KK.
Hey, ma'am, over to you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I till now I've heard Reshmi ji. I heard Vaibhav ji, a sweet little boy, Bhattacharya ji, and Vidushi. It was a great insights which you've shared with us, and I'm looking forward that the engagement that we have with ARCAT through you is just not for this webinar. It will be the long lasting, and we would have more sessions related to the creativity and innovation in all the fields. Like I heard, it is in sustainability model, in architecture, or in environment, and even the designing. The boy has actually shared a lot in gaming also. So this is really good for ARCAT that we have good delegates from all the domain and sharing their knowledge with us. And I personally inviting you all at ARCAT. May please visit ARCAT Jaipur, and we would have more detailed discussion for collaboration, and which would be beneficial for the state and the youth. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinita ma'am, for your brief message. And to reiterate your message, repeat that. As ma'am has requested, all the panelists are cordially invited to visit ARCAT. And we would like to take a screenshot of the speakers and distinguished speakers who are with us today. And Rashmi ji, Vidushi ma'am, Dr. Dinesh Tyagi ji, Vaibhav Jain, all of you who are here, can you please switch on your video so that we can take a screenshot? And this discussion will continue. This is an ongoing discussion. दिनेश जी एंड विदुषी जी सारे हिंदी में बोल सकते थे, मुझे पहले रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहिए था। वैभव भी हिंदी में बोल सकते हैं, कभी कभी टेक्निकल वर्ड्स अगर बोलते हैं तो चलेगा। तो रश्मि जी may not have been comfortable with हिंदी, she was okay with English. So अगले बार इस चीज का ध्यान रखेंगे। एक दो कमेंट आया है लोगों से कि आप हिंदी में भी रखिए, क्योंकि हमें अंग्रेजी कभी कभी थोड़ी दिक्कत होती है समझने में। तो देयर आर यंग पीपल इन रूरल राजस्थान एंड एल्सवेयर वाचिंग दिस। एंड आज का जो ये सेशन है ये काफी और जगह पे भी देखा जा रहा है। इक्फाई जयपुर से लेकर और सारे लाइव जो क्लासेस किया जा रहा है, आई एम रीडिंग दोज नेम्स। बनस्थली यूनिवर्सिटी में, महारानी कॉलेज जयपुर में, बियानी कॉलेज जयपुर, मौलाना आजाद यूनिवर्सिटी जोधपुर, सरस्वती कंप्यूटर्स जोधपुर, CJ इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड टेक्नोलॉजी पाली, BLS सेंटर्स अक्रॉस द कंट्री, ये सारे लोग ये लाइव देख रहे थे फेसबुक के थ्रू। और काफी लोग, हमारे 100 से ज्यादा लोग ज्वाइन किए थे वेबएक्स में। सो वी वुड लाइक टू थैंक यू ऑल ऑफ यू। इफ यू हैव एनी final thoughts which might be 1 minute each for each panelist, we would like to say something. And if you have gone through ARCAT's website and seen what we are doing, and Dr. Dinesh ji had given this message from the very beginning that ARCAT is doing some incredibly interesting work, and we would like to partner with all of you. All of you are invited to visit ARCAT. If you have any questions or queries or observations to the fellow panelists, or you would like to leave your final comment with us, what to you? We'll start with Dinesh ji.
Thank you so much, and very good to listen to all the experts. You're phenomenally good, experienced panel, all very young, enthusiastic, technology-driven, can be a good model for the learning model for others who are working in rural India. और आज जैसे किसी ने बताया कि एनवायरनमेंट और पेड़ कुछ कर सकते हैं। अगर हम नॉर्मली जब बच्ची पैदा होती है तो उसके लिए कुछ स्कीम है, सरकार की स्कीम है कि आप पैसे जमा करो। क्या हम पेड़ में ऐसा क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, जब पैदा हो तो बच्ची एक पेड़ लगाओ, उसकी वैल्यू शुड बी मोर देन द वैल्यू ऑफ द स्कीम विच जनरेट इनकम फॉर यू। दैट कैन बी फिनोमिनल, और ये हो सकता है। ऐसी अगर हम ऐसी टाइप जैसे टीक का है या कोई ऐसा प्लांट दे दे जो कि 20 साल में इतनी वेल्थ क्रिएट कर दे कि जो कि नॉर्मल डिपॉजिट स्कीम से ज्यादा होगा, दैट कैन बी ग्रेट फिनोमेना। एनवायरनमेंट भी बचेगा, इनकम भी बचेगी, और हमारा जो सोशल मोटिव है और ट्राइंग सपोर्टिंग फैमिलीज हु हैव गॉट गर्ल चाइल्ड कैन ऑल्सो बी ए ग्रेट स्टोरी। दूसरा पॉइंट एक विच आई वांट टू शेयर कि अगर आप एयरपोर्ट में गए हैं तो वहां पर आपने देखा होगा एक छोटा सा कैबिन होता है जहाँ पे लिखा होता है कि आप यहाँ स्मोक कर सकते हैं, इसे स्मोकिंग कैबिन। क्या हम गांव में भी एक ऐसा छोटा सा बना सकते हैं कि आप हुक्का यहाँ पियेंगे या बीड़ी यहाँ पियेंगे, सोशल होगा और प्रिवेंट करेगा ऑफ द इफेक्ट ऑफ स्मोकिंग इन द फैमिलीज, and probably will be a great story for us to do. So we can create hookah room in every village where people can come and drink hookah, can socialize, can also try and create value. अगर एयरपोर्ट पे हो सकता है तो गांव में भी हो सकता है। एयरपोर्ट वालों की ज्यादा वैल्यू नहीं है और हमारे गांव वालों की वैल्यू उतनी है जो एयरपोर्ट के ट्रेवलर्स की है, बट कैन बी ग्रेट स्टोरी। बहुत सारी चीजें जो हम कर सकते हैं। आई थिंक ARCAT कैन टेक यूनिक इनिशिएटिव आइडेंटिफाइंग रूरल प्रॉब्लम्स and trying addressing them by use of technology through innovative ways, and can become examples for replicating across the nation. Thank you so much.
थैंक यू डॉक्टर दिनेश त्यागी जी फॉर योर हिंदी इंग्लिश मिला के आपने बहुत अच्छे से बोला, और सारे लोग ताली बजा रहे हैं और वो बोल रहे हैं कि ये बढ़िया आइडिया है, ये इम्प्लीमेंट होनी चाहिए। So Dinesh ji is full of ideas, and we'll get back to you for more ideas. Maybe we can compile an idea, a booklet, and creative, innovative ideas which can change, जो परिवर्तन कर सकता है। और जो हम सतत विकास के लक्ष्य के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल के बारे में, शायद उसके लिए आइडियाज बहुत जरूरी है और इम्पोर्टेंट है। थैंक यू, धन्यवाद सर।
थैंक यू, नमस्कार।
थैंक यू। वैभव जी, ओवर टू यू, आप कुछ कहना चाहते थे?
Yes, I think collectively
ये आप हिंदी में बोल सकते हैं, आप हिंदी में बोल सकते
हिंदी में बोल सकते हैं, वेरी गुड, बहुत अच्छी बात है कि साथ में मिलकर, आई थिंक व्हेन लाइक माइंडेड पीपल कम टुगेदर and we all are together, as sir has Tyagi sir has given a wonderful idea
हैं। आप अंग्रेजी
that
फिर बोल रहे हैं, हिंदी में बोलिए।
कि एक बच्चा अगर जब पैदा होता है तो उसी के साथ एक पेड़ लगाएं, तो our population is such a huge population, and likewise what I mean to say that we can brainstorm ideas, not we because we are in the field, हम लोग फील्ड में हैं, तो हम brainstorm तो कर सकते हैं, बहुत सारे ideas generate कर सकते हैं। यहाँ पर willpower in the like-minded people are there, and now let's start implementing it. So I think connecting what RCAT and you are doing is trying to connect all of us together who are like-minded, and then we can influence more and more people, and more and more people will join towards this agenda. So meeting more and more, again finding out these small ideas, very appreciable, which can make a big impact. So I would say that it's a problem for all of us, and all of us can only solve it together by brainstorming ideas. Thank you.
धन्यवाद, धन्यवाद, धन्यवाद। विदुषी जी।
I think हर पैनल मेंबर ने अपनी बात बहुत अच्छे से कम्युनिकेट की है, और मैं यही बोलूंगी कि सस्टेनेबिलिटी इंश्योर करने के लिए हमारा पहला कदम होना चाहिए डिजिटाइजेशन, क्योंकि आज हम देखते हैं कि कितना मैसिव कार्बन फुटप्रिंट आता है बिकॉज ऑफ द यूज ऑफ पेपर। तो वो अगर हम चाहते हैं कि हम क्रिएटिविटी या इनोवेशन के थ्रू सस्टेनेबिलिटी की तरफ बढ़ें, तो हमारा पहला स्टेप होना चाहिए to reduce the carbon footprint in every sphere of the work that we are doing today. So I think जिस फील्ड में मैं हूँ वहाँ पे जितना भी पेपर बेस्ड काम है, अगर हम उसे डिजिटाइज कर पाएंगे तो हम जरूर सस्टेनेबिलिटी सपोर्ट कर पाएंगे। तो आई थिंक my final concluding word would be to move towards digitization to reduce the carbon footprint, and every organization, if that takes responsibility, it would make a massive difference. Thank you.
धन्यवाद। जितने कागज हम व्यवहार करते हैं, यूज करते हैं, वो सारे पेड़ या फिर ऐसे कुछ चीजों को काट के ही बनाए जाते हैं, तो डिफॉरेस्टेशन से भी बचेगा। और हमें पेपरलेस वर्कफोर्स डेवलप करनी बहुत जरूरी है, और इंस्टीट्यूशनल जो हम IMS डेवलप कर रहे हैं आजकल, LMS IMS डेवलप कर रहे हैं, बहुत जरूरी हो गया है। एंड डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के आपने जो मैसेज बोला, आप वो मुझे लगता है बहुत बढ़िया मैसेज है डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन की। थैंक यू।
आधा काम कोविड ने कर दिया है, बाकी हमें करना है। आधा उसने हमें वर्चुअल पे जाने पे मजबूर कर दिया है, बाकी अब डिजिटाइजेशन हमारा पार्ट है।
सौम्या कह रहे हैं कि वेस्ट से भी आजकल पेपर बन रहा है, जो रिसाइकल वेस्ट है वहां से भी बन रहा है। तो सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी की भी जो फायदे हैं उसको भी हमें फायदे लेना चाहिए। धन्यवाद विदुषी जी, थैंक यू। रश्मि जी, एनी फाइनल थॉट्स?
Sir, I listened that you told that these attending people are from many villages as well, and the peculiarity of village is that they'll be having their own kind of motives, skill, and even the recipe, food recipe will be there. So if you can document that as a repository, it will be great for sharing for our coming generation as well. That is one thought. Second is that about the natural dye. For example, the onion peel that we was a waste, we can collect that and we can extract a dye, beautiful brown color we get from the onion peel. So we can, from the waste, we can collect those resources and we can extract the dye, preserve, and we can use it for the traditional art and craft form. So these are the two thoughts that came to my mind. And if we have to give training for anyone in the village for extracting the banana fiber. We are happy for that, sir.
थैंक यू। आपको जान के खुशी होगी, यू अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी?
Yes, sir, I can understand Hindi, but I am not comfortable speaking.
आपको जान के खुशी होगी कि जो नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ फैशन टेक्नोलॉजी की भुवनेश्वर ऑफिस है उड़ीसा में, उन्होंने फैम टू फैशन करके एक नया डेवलपमेंट मॉडल तैयार किया है, जिसको भारत सरकार ने भी अडॉप्ट किया है, जिसमें हमारे जो पुराने ट्राइबल, आदिवासी, इंडिजिनस कम्युनिटी के लोग हैं, जिस तरीके से वो अपने फैशन को इस्तेमाल करते थे, नेचुरल डाई यूज करते थे, उसको लेकर अभी सारा देश और सारा विदेश में भी नया चर्चा शुरू हुआ है। और को लेकर टाइम टू फैशन डिस्कशन भी शुरू हुआ है, वो कभी फिर लंबा डिस्कशन हम बाद में करेंगे. थैंक यू रश्मि जी फॉर योर फाइनल थॉट्स on this topic. Thank you everyone on behalf of RCAT, on behalf of Madam Jyoti Luhadia ji, our Executive Director, and Madam Vinita Srivastav ji, our Manager from RCAT. We extend heartfelt thanks to everyone for carving out time from your busy schedule. आप लोग आए और हमारे बच्चों को, स्टूडेंट लोगों को, हमारे ग्रामीण महिला जो ज्वाइन किए, उनको आपने प्रेरित किया कि एनवायरमेंट के लिए, परिवेश के लिए, पर्यावरण के लिए काम हम कर सकते हैं और यहाँ पे इनोवेटिव और क्रिएटिव आइडियाज इस्तेमाल हो सकते हैं. थैंक यू एवरीवन.